Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Chris here in Hawaii. Hope you all had a good day. It is the 5th of August. We are at the London close, or mid morning for New York, and we'll kind of cover the developments of today and see what trades we had in terms of opportunities to trade. So, first off, just wanted to show you the trade from yesterday. We had a nice 3-to-1 reward to risk trade on this one, and basically, my rule stipulates that if this thing goes above this line and closes, we are out. So um, it basically closed at the line, tried to go down, tested it, stayed there, and then just dropped. And we got out right here at 173.84. So I'm sorry, excuse me. At 6 p.m., we were able to close out just above the full target. So it was just about a 3-to-1 reward to risk, or actually a little bit more. So this was a really nice trade, and you could see once again all that volume built up above. It would be real tough for this thing to choke it. My worry was that it was going to bypass the volume here and try to go after this one, which would have stopped us out. And luckily, it stayed here and kept going down. So it was a nice win for us. Figured I'd share that after a couple days. We had a couple losses in a row, but this third day kind of makes up for the two losses and one. So the net 3-day period for the week we're still up. So let's take a look at the heat map here. So some good developments overnight. You can see dollar being sold off still, as well as the yen. Pound, Kiwi, CAD are mixed. Aussie's up, and Swiss franc is up for some reason, which is kind of aside from what's going on here. Euros mixed as well. So looking at the markets just to see what's going on, one of the big developments overnight is the ISM data and the ADP data. So unemployment is positive. The ISM services, which that was something critical that I was looking at. The services PMI and the ISM non-manufacturing PMI. Those were both beats, so it was a very nice win there. And the employment change was actually down, so that was a huge hit. So it was kind of mixed. So I think the ISM data and the PMI data spiked the U.S. dollar, but that gave more selling opportunity. So I think when you look at the U.S. Economy, we're not doing as hot, and the employment figures I can't think kind of tell the picture of why the heat map kind of shows the dollar being sold off. In the markets, however, they are actually up. So the Dow is up 330, S&P, Nasdaq are up, VIX is down. So companies are being invested in, but the dollar is not being looked at as a safe haven. And with the positive risk flow environment right now, the dollar is being doubly sold. So I think that's why you're seeing that, and I would continue with the dollar sell um, if I were going to get in. So that would be a currency we'd be looking to sell. Looking overnight, really, it's a more technical play for the Aussie advancing towards a retest. There was that positive jobs data from a day and a half ago for the Kiwi, so Kiwi US could be nice. The yen's flat on a pro risk mood, so they're down a little bit from versus most, but they're not getting sold off substantially. The pound is being well supported, and I think that has more to do with the U.S. selling than it does with the pound buying. The Eurozone did have a little bit rougher data overnight in regards to the PMI. So that they're basically it's once again it's the dollar being pressured. It's not necessarily that the euro is so strong right now. The Canadian dollar did continue to strengthen on rebound from crude oil and the fact that there was a decline in stock. So something that I look at with that, with crude oil inventories, even though it was down 7.4 million compared to the forecast of 3.4, there was actually a little bit of a surplus of gasoline. So that kind of tells you how well economies are doing. So even though I think the Canadian dollar is going to be uh, benefited from that for the U.S., that's just one more sign the economy is really struggling. So that's what we have going on today. Trade wise, what I'd be looking at would be pretty much anything to pair with the dollar, except for the pound. I would not get in on the pound right now because you have BOE coming up here, Bank of England rate announcement, and a lot of things can happen with that. So I think there's going to be some jockeying before that announcement. So first off, let's take a look and see U.S. yen, because I think the yen's kind of lagging on the sell off of the dollar, and I think that there could be a little bit more of a rebalancing there. You've seen most of the currencies kind of take off versus the dollar, except for the yen. So that's one pair I want to look at right off the bat. Pull that up. You can see the overarching volume. There's a little bit of a buildup here, but just the volume is just definitely heading downwards here. You can see. So get rid of this guy. Let's take a look at the last little swing here and see what the volume's doing. So the volume's right about here, and it's dropping below that. So the 105.50 level seems to be the level that people got in. But when you're looking at the overarching here, you can see build up here about the figure 106 to 106.15, and then there's a little bit of a build up here between 105.80 and 105.66. I know there was an option expiry here at 106, so that's probably why I kind of stayed near that level until New York. But if we look at the larger picture, you can see once it goes down here, it's going to run into some trouble at the figure at 105. And then after that, there's not a heck of a lot that's going to stop it from taking it down to maybe the 104 figure. So this is looking pretty bearish to me. My only concern would be I don't know if this will hold right here at 105.51. And you can see volume wise, it's not substantially bigger than, say, down here at 105.41. So if we go further back to maybe here, you can see all the volume is building up right about here, 105.54. The biggest sold mark is 105.68, and really tapers off here at 105.77. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get in on this one, and I'd be wary if this thing doesn't continue to drop and it tries to spike up again. My fear would be it will break this and try to go after this area here. So don't know if this is going to be a tradable move today. So not for us. Let me pull up. I'm going to pull up and see if we have anything else. Euro, USD. Let's take a look at that. You can see all the volumes built up here. And it's almost reached the high at 119.09. It is at 119.08, or excuse me, 119.03. So we're about 6 pips off there. but you can see this thing's already taken off, and the volume's just dispersed evenly, so there's not really a lot you can go off of here. When we look at the overarching picture, once again, it doesn't go for quite some time. So um, I don't think this thing will get much past 120 before it runs into some profit taking, some resistance, but it already kind of did down into here. That was some profit taking, and then there was some more buying. That's why you see the volume building up and then another spike up. You know, does it have the oomph to get past this today? Um, I don't know, but I wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of the dollar right now. So that's not something I'm interested in. So let me take a look and see if there are any interesting levels or maybe breakout run-ups that we can take today on the dollar. But that's what we want to be looking at here. So I don't see anything right off the bat that I'd like to trade. I think right now with the sell-off of the dollar, it's going to be a tough go at it. But we'll keep an eye, and if I see anything, I'll let you know. Once again, I use the auto chartist just to look for levels. Levels that a currency has passed, where maybe we could find a favorable run up to the next level, or something in that regards. Yesterday was pretty easy. We pulled up the chart on pound CAD, and you could just see the volume was building up right behind it. So that's what we like to see, and we got paid off because of it. So let's see if we can find something more interesting today. All right, I'll hop on if we see anything. Until then, um, we'll keep an eye on Euro USD. Once again, I don't think USD yen's gonna really break today. Pretty kind of stalling. We'll keep an eye on this one. If it kind of stalls here for a little bit, there might be some interesting moves if the volume kind of builds up here a little bit more. So keep you posted. Thanks, guys. So we were able to pick out a trade today. So we went in on a Aussie yen short. So even though it is a little bit of a risk on day today, the Australian dollar is going to kind of get hit by the reclosing of the economy with the coronavirus. So I took a look at the chart because it just didn't make sense to me. Why would the Australian dollar be rising? And I looked at some other pairs with when I was looking at lines, just to explain my thought process. And I saw the euro gaining on it pretty strongly. I saw the pound gaining on it pretty strongly, which kind of made me question what was going on there. So when I look at the chart, you can see a buildup here, and it's already at the highs. So I didn't think there was much more mustard for the Australian dollar to continue rising, and the yen has been kind of softish during today's session here. I think everyone was kind of focused on U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, and looking at the chart, it's pretty favorable because you can see the buildup, and the next you can see the buildup here in the volume here. So the fact that it's registering this little bump up here over on this area, that tells me that there's definitely some volume here. So what's the likelihood of it continuing compared to what's the likelihood of it dropping and retesting this volume area? So I got in on a short. Fundamentally, like I said, it makes sense to me, and we could keep the stops real tight. So we were able to get in um, at 76.14.2. Stop loss was at 76.25. So about an 11 pip stop. So for me, if it closes above these wicks over here, that means it's going to take another move up here. The target price for me, I'm really looking at this level down into here. It's 75.62, so I'm going to do it a little bit higher than that. So we'll go 75.65. So we have a nice 4.56 to 1 reward to risk, and I think this could be a nice move for us. But like I said, the risk is small compared to the reward, and let's see what happens, guys. All right, but like I said, makes sense, and we'll see if price follows through on this. But going into lunchtime here, the fact that there's all this buildup of volume and it's dropping tells me that it's going to take some type of retracement. When I look over here, the only retracement I could see starting would be down in these areas. So I'll keep a close eye on that. I just don't think the Australian dollar isn't strong enough to do a short retracement. But hey, that's the markets, and that's the risk you take. And at a 4 to 1, I'm willing to take that risk. So hopefully you guys profit, and I'll catch y'all later. Thank you very much.